Hey, welcome to another video. So today we're going to be going into the fall of Aegon II Targaryen, but before we begin, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Sith Citadel Discord, links in the description, and consider becoming a join member or sending a super thanks if you wish to further support the channel. Otherwise, let's jump straight into it. Though Rhaenyra Targaryen had already met her end, the Dance of the Dragons, the devastating civil war between the Targaryen factions, was far from over. Aegon II, now firmly seated on the Iron Throne, still had many challenges to face, particularly with the forces arrayed against him. In an attempt to consolidate his power and bring House Velaryon back into the fold, Aegon offered a pardon to House Velaryon with the condition that Alan Velaryon, the heir to Lord Corlys, swear fealty to him and allow him to cross the Blackwater Bay. However, as tensions between the two sides remained high, tragedy struck Aegon's own side. His dragon, Sunfire, succumbed to the wounds sustained during the war. The loss of Sunfire deeply affected Aegon, and he was seen weeping before his fallen mount. Though initially Aegon had ordered the execution of Princess Baela Targaryen, he instead threatened to execute her only if Alan Velaryon did not present himself before him. Eventually, Lord Boros Baratheon arrived in King's Landing, and Queen Alicent Hightower arranged a marriage between Aegon II and Lady Cassandra Baratheon, the eldest daughter of Lord Boros. Meanwhile, Lord Corlys Velaryon, after much negotiation, agreed to swear fealty to Aegon, securing the position of Master of Ships for himself. As Aegon prepared to execute Baela once more, news arrived that House Velaryon had made its peace with the Iron Throne, and Aegon returned to King's Landing aboard the ship called Mouse. The ship, captained by Alan Velaryon's mother, Marilda of Hull, was seen by many as an insult to Aegon, a subtle rebuke of his power. In the aftermath of the war, Aegon's physical condition continued to deteriorate. Unable to climb the steps of the Iron Throne, he held court from a simple wooden chair, his body draped in a blanket due to the pain of his twisted legs. Despite his agony, he refused to take any more of the dream wine or milk of the poppy to ease his suffering. Instead, his mind focused on the threats that remained within the realm. Among them were the three self-proclaimed pretender kings in King's Landing. Aegon allowed Tristan Truefire, one of the pretenders, to receive knighthood before executing him, while he spared Gaemon Palahair because of his youth, though Gaemon's followers were hanged. Aegon's wrath extended further than he had with the Shepherd, leader of a popular uprising, captured, his tongue ripped out, and the man burned alive along with his followers. Despite calls for Lord Corlys Velaryon for Aegon to pardon the lords who had supported Rhaenyra, the king refused. He insisted that the lords of the Crown Lands be brought before him in chains to swear fealty, pay heavy ransoms, and provide hostages as proof of their loyalty. His harsh measures alienated many. Meanwhile, forces from the Riverlands marched towards the capital, and an army of the Vale of Arryn was gathering ships to attack. Aegon's attempts to hatch dragon eggs from Dragonstone was unsuccessful, leaving him in despair. Even when Lord Corlys Velaryon suggested a marriage between his daughter and Aegon the Younger, the captive son of Rhaenyra, Aegon rejected the idea, insisting that the line of his sister Jaehaera Targaryen should not continue. Instead, Aegon decreed that his nephew would either join the Night's Watch or become a eunuch. As the situation around him grew increasingly dire, with armies closing in on the capital, Aegon II remained disconnected, focusing only on his impending marriage to Lady Cassandra of Baratheon. Meanwhile, he ordered the rebuilding of the Dragon Pit, and commissioned statues of his late brothers Daeron the Daring and Aemond One-Eye in their honor. However, with Lord Cormac Tully's army having defeated Boros Baratheon in the Battle of the Kingsroad, the tides were turning against Aegon. Lord Corlys Velaryon knew defeat was inevitable and urged the king to abdicate and seek refuge in the Night's Watch. Queen Alicent, however, reminded her son that there were still hostages, and Aegon refused to consider surrender. In an act of defiance, Aegon ordered the ear of his nephew Aegon the Younger to be cut off and sent to Lord Tully as a warning of his continued resistance. It was at this moment of looming defeat that Aegon II made his way to a royal sept. Seemingly resigned to his fate, the exhausted king climbed his litter, accompanied by his customary flagon of sweet arbor red wine to ease his pain. However, when his escort arrived at the sept and Sir Giles Belgrave lifted the curtains of his litter, Aegon was found dead, blood on his lips, his death marked by the end of the reign of Aegon II, a ruler whose legacy would be forever marred by the violence and cruelty of his reign. With Aegon's death, the stage was set for his nephew Aegon the Younger to ascend the throne. Along with Lord Corlys Velaryon, Aegon the Younger rode out to meet the vanguard of Kermit Tully's army, proclaiming the king's death. Meanwhile, Lord Leowyn Corbray, commander of the Vale's host, watched as the Velaryon fleet removed the banner of Aegon II, signaling the end of the king's rule. With no male heirs remaining, Aegon the Younger assumed the throne, marrying Aegon II's daughter, Princess Jaehaera Targaryen, and uniting the two branches of House Targaryen. As per Targaryen tradition, Aegon II co-signed to the flames. His remains were burned, and some hoped that the fire would purge the bitterness and hatred that had characterized his reign. However, the full truth behind Aegon's death remains shrouded in mystery. While many believe it was that he was poisoned, the identity of the perpetrator was never conclusively determined. Several individuals, including Lord Corlys Velaryon, Lord Larry Strong, and Sir Perkin the Flea, were suspected of involvement in the conspiracy to kill the king. These conspirators feared that Aegon's continued reign would lead to further war, and they took matters into their own hands. When Lord Cragen Stark arrived in King's Landing, he had the conspirators arrested. Grandmaster Orwyle was executed for providing the poison, while Sir Giles Belgrave was executed for allowing the king's death. 22 others, many of them under Perkin's command, were also executed, though Corlys Velaryon was spared after a plea by Alysanne Blackwood. Larry Strong was executed, and Perkin was sent to the wall. In the wake of Aegon's death, construction of the statues of his brothers was halted, and the rebuilding of the Dragon Pit resumed, marking the final moments of Aegon's reign. So what did you guys think of the fall of Aegon II? Please let me know in the comments down below. If you haven't already, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Sith Citadel Discord, links in the description, and consider becoming a join member or sending a super thanks if you wish to further support the channel. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.